The Ojibwe tribe is full of history and rich culture. The Ojibwe people uphold ancient traditions and are proud American Indians. The Ojibwe tribe has several names and are commonly known as the Rocky Boys, Chippewa, and Ojibwe. Today, the Ojibwe are the second largest Native American population, with about 1,700,000 people. But in 1764, the population was estimated to be only about 30,000. In the 1700s to mid-1800s, saw a reduction in the Ojibwe population. Starting in the 1900s, the population rapidly increased. The original Ojibwe territory was located around the Great Lakes. They lived in parts of current-day North Dakota, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Michigan, and southern parts of Canada. The Ojibwe were known to live in wooded areas and use their surroundings. They used bark from birch trees to make wigwams. They first made a base out of branches and then covered the base in birch bark, wild grasses, small branches, and sometimes animal hides. When the Ojibwe migrated to the plains area, they lived in more traditional teepees made with buffalo hide. The Ojibwe people lived in villages that each shared traditions and special ceremonies. The Ojibwe not only shared traditions with each other, but also were a part of a larger confederation called the Anishinaabe. The group was made out of other tribes as well, such as the Ottawa and Algonquin tribes. The Ojibwe referred to themselves as Anishinaabe and also shared many aspects of their culture with the neighboring Cree tribes. An important part of Ojibwe culture are dream catchers. Today, dream catchers can be found in almost any native gift shop, but the idea originated from the Ojibwe people. Dream catchers were originally made of wood and sinew string were fairly small, ranging in diameter from 2 to 3 inches. At first, dream catchers were thought of as spider webs. The story begins in ancient times when all of the Ojibwe people lived in a small piece of land called Turtle Island. The mythological Spider Woman protected all of the children from bad dreams. Once the Ojibwe dispersed to the four corners of North America, Spider Woman was having a difficult time reaching all of the children. The woman in the tribe would make dream catchers to help out Spider Woman and entertain small children. The shape of the dream catchers are supposed to represent how the sun moves across the sky. Usually, dream catchers are meant to have 8 points to represent a spider's 8 legs. The hole in the middle of the dream catcher is meant to let the good dreams through. This tale from the Ojibwe people teaches children to respect nature, specifically spiders. They are taught to respect them and protect them instead of being scared of them. Another aspect of Ojibwe culture that cannot be looked over are vision quests. Vision quests are just for males and mark the change of a boy into a man. The native tradition begins when a boy is between 10 and 14 and consists about a week of praying, fasting, and making offerings in nature. Sometimes these offerings could be tobacco or other herbs burned in a fire. The goal of a vision quest is to find a spirit guide, an animal that is specific to you. For the rest of your life, you are in that animal's clan, and whenever you need guidance, you can look to your spirit guide. A quote from the book, The Roundhouse, written by Louise Erdrich, says,
An Ojibwe's person's clan meant everything at one time, and no one didn't have a clan. Thus you knew your place in the world and your relationship to all other beings. The clan system punished and rewarded. It dictated marriages and regulated commerce. It told which animals a person could hunt and which to appease, which would have pity on the dotem or a fellow being of that clan.
Sometimes a vision quest would begin when a boy makes his first big kill in a hunt. The Ojibwe hunted mostly deer, wolves, moose, fox, bear, and buffalo. The Ojibwe would also farm rice, corn, beans, and squash. When the rice was harvested, they would prepare it so they could save it for winter when they needed it most. A main food source for the Ojibwe was fish. They fished all year round, changing their methods based on the season. Winter was the hardest time to get food, but the men would still fish in small cracks over frozen lakes and ponds. They would also use nets, spears, and traps, as well as more common fishing poles. The Ojibwe depended on fish as a food source and used as much of it as possible. During spring, women would collect berries, nuts, and wild greens. Today, the Ojibwe people live just like you and me, but they still uphold some traditions from the past. One of the most common traditions from the past is the Honor of the Earth powwow. Dancers dress up in traditional Ojibwe attire and have a celebration each year in honor of the earth. The Ojibwe tribe is one of the most prevailing American Indian cultures today. They have a rich history and culture that still exists in modern day.